Whoa, it's the Yewllusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. You know, I get a lot of requests for people asking me advice about what to do when it all goes wrong. And I can give you that advice today, because today was the day that I failed. Complete failure in the dream today. I mean, ultimately, nothing really went catastrophically wrong, but I failed on a personal level, I think, and I failed in a different way. So what I've learned about failing is it's not so much failing. It's getting up the next day and trying again. Ultimately, that's, I think, the greatest lesson anyone can learn in life. So, what's going on? Well, the day was one of those days that, all right, so it was time to teach Owl to ride a bike. And again, so today was the day to teach Owl to ride a bike. And I've been a little bit worried because I think that, so I don't force things on Owl. Like, he hasn't been that fired up to go surfing and get in the ocean. I don't bother him about it. When he's ready, he will. He's an excellent swimmer. Excellent swimmer. He loves to swim, take him to school, has swimming lessons. He's a really good swimmer. But there's this thing where I've realized that maybe I am a little bit, maybe I coddle a little bit, right? Maybe I'm a little bit, I don't even know what the word is. An enabler, maybe, is that word. I made a video about the other day, like the big battle with the shoes and the socks, and now he's fully self-sufficient, can do his thing, but it was a full battle. So we went up this morning. I was like, let's go up to the beach. He was all fired up to, like, kind of, he'd seen his little buddy go out and surfing with his dad. So it was like he wanted to get into it, but we didn't have our wetsuit last time. So we brought the wetsuit up, and he kind of had a meltdown at the beach about putting the wetsuit on and just kind of wanted to do his own thing. And this is where I begin to fail. I began to get frustrated with it because I was like, let's do this thing. So I start down the bunny hole of just what's going on here with my son. And, there's just self-doubt. There's no real, to say there's no handbooks. There are, of course. But then again, I live a different sort of lifestyle. So we packed it up from the beach. It was kind of a fail. And we came back home, and I got super, like, down about it. So I called my wife. We talked a bit, and she's like, he's a mirror of all your stuff. All the stuff that bugs you the most is what he is right now. And I'm like, ugh. So one of my big things is I don't like I can't. I'm an I can kind of guy. Because I've spent periods of my life being I can't do this. And at some point in life, I realized I can do anything I set my mind to. I just have to be willing to fail at it, ultimately. So Owl does this thing where he goes, I can't. And he kind of rolls his shoulders over and just kind of like limps out, just kind of goes like limp and just sort of stares into the abyss. And it freaks me out. Like, of all the stuff my little human does, it's the one thing that freaks me out. and I've been rolling with it because I'm like, okay, like it's just kind of roll with it. But today it just sort of hit a weird wall. So we came back here and I was super bummed and I was going to quit. Right? Because I was like, I don't know what to do. And I talked to the wife and she just listened because there's no real, I didn't need her to say anything. I just needed to talk to someone because I was like, one of my issues in life is I tend to bury my feelings and pretend that things aren't bumming me out and then just go and be bummed out about it. It's, because I have the depression and stuff. So the depression likes to hide in silence. So I called, I talked about what was going on. I went and I regrouped and I was like, all right, Owl, like we're going to learn to ride the bike today. Because we had gone up and tried. So what had happened is ultimately I made the video, our bikes got stolen. So his little push power bike had gotten stolen. So we have the other bike that's the pedal bike. And his buddy, his little best friend, just switched over to his pedal power bike and he fully rides a bike now. And I'm like, okay. And so we went up there like the other week. And Al did the full like, I can't, and I don't want to, and he went all like limp and like so whatever. I let it go. I came back and I was like, all right, Al. So I regroup, right? I come back in. I'm like, all right, Al, do you want to learn to ride the bike today? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, great. I was like, let's get your helmet. And he's like, all right. And we get his shoes on and we get all up and then it just went sideways. It just went downhill. And all right. And this is the trippy part about it. He can do it. Like it didn't take long, but he was, for some reason, he couldn't stop watching his feet, right? And he kills it at the other bike, the push bike. So I was like, but he won't stop looking at his feet. And I'm like, just pedal. Like, and look up. And I show him, I ride my bike around. And he's like, yeah, he's all stoked. And it's a little bit of a battle to get him the concept of the thing. And he's sort of quitting and he's not working. And he's getting frustrated. And I'm getting frustrated. And then we get it, right? Like I get it, and I let go of the bike, and I'm cruising along with him, and he's all stoked, and he's cruising, and he fully like forgets what he's doing, and just like because he's looking at me, and nothing bad happens, right? But I'm like, all right, let's go back up to the top of our little course, our straightaway. And he's going again, and he just fully like turned into the bush. And then it was just tears and I don't want to ride the bike and I'm like, but then all of a sudden I was like, no, you have to. I just drew this weird line in the sand and it just turned into a whole thing. He's crying. I'm like, no, you have to determine who you are. You're not a quitter. Don't be a quitter. It became this whole thing, dude. And I failed myself because I forget he's a 4-year-old child. And I'm like, but there's a part of me too that I'm like, I can't let this moment pass. I have to stay. Because I want to surrender, I want to quit too and just be like, this is too hard for you and be a coddler. But I'm like, no, we can't coddle. That's why the world's gone mad, is there's too much coddling. And so it's full tears. It becomes a whole thing. I'm like, it's like a whole thing. And we stop, and I'm like, all right, dude. You got to decide who you are. And, I give him the 50-year-old pep talk to the 4-year-old boy about you got to determine who you are. But it's not all casual. It's all like heated. He's crying. I'm all aggravated. Like, I can't let my boy fail, dude. What's wrong with my boy? He's going to fail, dude. He's got to learn how to ride the bike. So I'm like, all right, man. I'm going to go sit in the room. And when you're ready, come in and get me and we'll go try again. So like an hour goes by, he comes in. He's like, because I put some consequences on it. He comes in, he's like, all right, man, let's go ride the bike. I'm like, all right, dude. I get all like, yeah, let's go. And we get out there and he's stoked for a minute. And he's got it, dude. Like, he's got it, but he's doing this weird thing where, like, he's just, like, jellyfishing out, like, blah. But he's got it. Like, I'm letting go of the bike. So we're doing this lap around the house where I'm holding this bike seat and he's cruising and he's pedaling and he's getting it. And I let go of the bike, dude. And he's pedaling on the bike. And I'm like, he goes like 20 feet, doesn't know that I've let go of the bike yet. I'm like, yeah, you got it. And he looks and he just goes right into this like bush. And he's like, no. Starts crying, skins his knee. I'm like, dude, you got it. You did it. Like, you're riding the bike. And he's like, no. And he flips out and he's crying. I'm like, and it turned into this whole thing. Right? And I got all bummed and sour about it. And disappointed and all this stuff. And I put him in the bath and got him all cleaned up and made him dinner and he went to bed. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm thinking about what is unconditional love. And I'm like, is whether he rides a bike or not determine how my love for him? And I'm tripping because I'm like, he's got to know how to ride a bike, dude. Like, we're going bike riding together and we're doing all this stuff together. And I go, what if he's not going to do it? And I'm like, so my eyes spin out. He's fine, but I've laid kind of a trip on him today. So he's a little like, dude, enough. And so I'm all bummed. Then I go in and I talk to him. I'm like, all right, dude, because I know I'm feeling bad. I'm like, I'm going to just I can't let him go to sleep without telling him I love him. And it's just the whole thing, right? So now he's been asleep for a while. I'm up sorting Legos or something. And I was just thinking about it. And I was like, what's a quitter and what's a warrior? Because at the end he was like, I had him yelling, I'm a warrior. Because I was like, you got to decide whether you're going to, but the big talk we had before he went to bed was like about being a warrior. And he's like, I'm a warrior. I'm like, we let me yell, I'm a warrior. And so we were yelling, I'm a warrior. And then he was making poo-poo jokes and we were laughing and everything was fine. Except me, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm like, why am I a dick? Well, I'm a dick, dude. Like, why am I like so spun out about this thing? And why am I putting our whole reality based upon this like moment? And then I think about my whole day and I'm like, why was I so aggro about what was going on at the beach? Why didn't I just like kick back and enjoy it, dude? Like, why did I have to put an agenda into it? And then I'm sitting here and I kind of spiraled. That's why I'm making this video, because I've been getting a couple emails about, people just going through life and like got some advice and, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all the advice is all the same, dude. It's not him, it's me. So what's wrong with me? why is he manifesting that story? Because the outside world's a reflection of my inner self. I'm the quitter. I'm the dude who wants to quit. I'm the dude who's like afraid of tomorrow because like I laid a trip on today, but I got to get up tomorrow morning, and because I talked to him before. He's like, I want to ride the bike after school. I was like, we'll ride the bike after school. He's like, okay. I was like, we'll go to a big open parking lot. He's like, all right. But you know, I'm his guy, but I'm like, I was thinking about that dumb Blink 182 song about like, I spilt the apple juice in the hall or whatever. Like, you know, it's this memory that he's writing about. This memory he has, and I'm like, is this gonna be the memory? I remember Dad flipping out about the bike. Me and him getting into a thing about the bike, and I'm like, am I that guy? Am I that guy? I am a little bit. I have to admit that to myself, right? So like part of like not being part of my thing I try to tell people is that the first one you got to get in the lifeboat is yourself. The first person you have to examine is yourself. It can't be the other person, the partner, the wife, the child. I have to examine myself. I have to examine. So I began to reflect on myself, and I didn't like what I found tonight. Like I'm digging in myself a little bit like about today, and I get like kind of bummed on myself, right? And I can feel the depression coming in of like, dude, like why? Like I'm failing at this thing, and gee, I'm just trying to be a good dad, and I blew it today. Like I just wasn't a good dad because I got into it with my son, my 4-year-old, about riding a bike, and I had to hold the line. But I'm also like, you have to hold the line. You gotta. It's just this gray area of like when are you pushing too hard and when you like holding the line. And but at the end of the day, it's like, how do I feel? And I don't feel that great about myself. And yeah, I needed to do what I needed to do. Like, we're fine. Like, we get up. So this is ultimately what this video is about. We don't run from it. We don't run from the problem. I don't pretend that there isn't a problem with how I feel about this, how it went down today. I have to accept that it was a fail. I have to accept that I didn't operate how I want to operate. That somehow I lost track of it all, and I got frustrated and mad, and then he did, and then we were locking horns, and we're having this. I'd say it's the hardest day I've had with Owl in 4+ years. Like the hardest day I've had, because it just the whole thing, like it, just the and it's always fear. I'm like, my kid's not going to want to be an outdoor kid and ride bikes with me and go surfing. And like my whole life, it becomes this pity party, right? So what is that about? Because I want to quit. Because I want to go limp and slump my shoulders over and say I can't. Like ultimately, that's what I want to say. I can't raise him. I can't get him to ride a bike. I can't. And I want to be a victim. I want to be poor me. But I'm not. I'm a warrior, man. I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to dust myself off. I'm going to get back in the ring and I'm going to try again. I'm going to get back up. I'm going to be better at it tomorrow because I learned what I don't want to be today. Right? Like today I didn't get to be the human being I wanted to be. But tomorrow I get to be, because I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be like, okay, today's a new day. Today is the day of blowing it, of internal reflection, of like failing. Today I failed. Tomorrow I'm not going to fail, because I'm learning from today. I'm not pretending I didn't fail today. I'm not being like, oh, it was him, it was me. It was all of it. We only lost today if we don't win tomorrow, right? If I wake up tomorrow morning and I'm defeated and I'll blah about it, dude, then everybody loses. But if I get up tomorrow and I'm like, all right, son, we're gonna make this happen today. We're both gonna win. That's what life's about. That's ultimately what this bike thing's about. It's not him, it's me, it's both of us. He's learning how to ride a bike and not fail at riding a bike. I'm learning how to be a father and not fail my son by not caving to him not. You know what I mean? It's this symbiotic thing, the chicken or the egg. Which one came first? I don't know, but we're both in this together. Him and I are both in this thing together. I can't quit on him teaching him how to ride a bike, and he's not going to quit on himself learning how to ride a bike. Right? Because I have to be the first non-quitter of the deal. Does that make sense? I got to be the first one not to quit. So I have to be the first one to look at myself and go, what can I do to make this thing happen? Where did I go wrong today? Because it wasn't him. He's just trying to figure out how to ride a bike. It's me. So, yeah. That's it, man. That is my honest reality today. That's where I'm at. So anyway, this is the Yewllusion signing off. If you like what we're doing on this channel, support the links down below. There's PayPal, t-shirts, art. You can become a member, all that kind of good stuff, dude. And there's going to be some footage of Al riding his bike with a giant smile on his face real soon here. Anyway, this is the Yewllusion signing off. And remember, it's not about failing. It's about getting back in the ring after you failed and trying again until you have success. All right, this is the Yewllusion. Thank you.